Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be creating this animated 3D infographic, another template in the PowerPoint 2099 collection. If you are new to this, PowerPoint 2099 is a series where I make futuristic style PowerPoint presentations. There will be templates, tutorials released over time, so hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of that. Now back to the video. As you can see, this infographic has an interactive menu bar with clickable icons. So we're going to create this together. Stick around and let's get right into it. The first step is to create 3D objects. Let's insert a circle. Let's increase the height and the width to say 2.98. Now we can remove the outline. Let's click on Format Object. Let's head over to the Effect options. Let's just scroll down to 3D Rotation. And we can pick this perspective. Can also reduce the Z rotation. Let's just type 27.6. That looks good. So we can just scroll up to 3D format. Let's select a slant top bevel. Yes. Now we can increase the width and the height. Let's make this 15. Let's make this 75. Okay. We can also change the material. Let's change this to plastic. Also the lighting, let's change it to freezing. Then we can increase the angle. Let's make this 200. That's looking good. So we can duplicate this. And now let's switch from a top bevel to a bottom bevel. So let's make this 0 points. Let's make this 0 points. Okay, now let's select the slant bottom bevel. Now let's make this 15. Let's make this 75. That's looking good. So let's just drag this below. Now we can send to the back and let's align properly. I believe that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. So now we can just duplicate this. So over to the effect options again, 3D formats. Now let's pick a round bevel. Yes, so let's increase this to 150. Let's make this 100. Now it looks like a cap for our object. As you can go, so let's just drag this to the top. So we can just reduce the size so it's aligned properly. Let's just drag this down a little bit. Let's duplicate this. And let's remove the top bevel and insert the bottom bevel. So let's make this 0. Let's make this 0. Let's make this 150. Let's make this 100. That's looking good. So let's just drag this below. Let's send to the back. Now let's align it properly. Just adjust it properly. Yeah. Can just reduce the size a little bit. I think that looks good. Yes. So we've created the 3D objects. Now let's insert some colors. Select this. Select this. Yeah. Okay. So we've created the 3D objects. Now let's create a slide layout. And in order to create a slide layout, we'll need to enter Slide Master View. We can do that in one of two ways. First, we can just head over to the search tab and type Slide Master so it pops out. Or we can use a cool shortcut where we hold Shift and select this icon. Just like that, we're in Slide Master View. So I'll just use this picture. It's a picture of space. You can download from Pexels or Unsplash. So let's duplicate the blank layout. Let me copy this picture. Then let's paste it on the duplicated blank layout. Okay, now let's head over to format picture. Let's scroll down to artistic effects. Let's apply a blur. You can increase the radius to 50. Now let's copy this. Now we can reset the picture. Now let's format background and let's select the picture fill. Let's select clipboard. Just like that, we have a blurred background picture. Now let's just undo. You can add your own overlays. I'm just going to copy these overlays. Let's copy this. Let me paste it here. Okay. So let's note the name. It's the second blank layout. So we're going to use that as our new layout. So now let's go Slide Master View. Let's change the layout. Let's ensure it's the same. There's the second blank, so let's select it. Now we can minimize this. Okay, so let's open up the selection pane. Let's select all the circles. This group, Ctrl G. You can just move this to the side a little bit. Move it to the top. Let's ungroup. Now let's create the menu bar. So we'll need to insert a rounded corner rectangle. I'm just going to use these dimensions, 1.08 as the height and 13.33 as the width. Okay. Now let's align to the center and align bottom. Okay. Now let's just adjust this yellow circle just to give that rounded edge. That looks good. Okay, now the space between the 3D object and the rounded corner rectangle is small, so we'll need to adjust that. So let's select all the circles. Let's group. Let's just move it to the top. So it kind of looks good. I think it's okay. So let's insert a circle. Let's use this dimension. Let's make it 1.47. Okay. Let's just drag it here. Just make sure it's aligned properly. Okay. Now let's duplicate. Let's drag to the side. Align it to the other circle. Okay, now let's duplicate. Okay, now you can just adjust the last circle. So point we're satisfied. Okay, I think that's good. Now let's select all the circles. Let's distribute horizontally. Let's group. Let's align to the center. Let's ungroup. Let's duplicate this. Okay. Now let's reduce the size. Let's make it 1.22. 1.22. Okay. Now let's align it. Sure it's properly aligned to the middle, the center of the circle. That looks good. Let's just confirm. select the other circle. Select this first. Select the other circle. Okay, now let's align to the center, align to the middle. Okay, just to ensure it's properly aligned. Now let's duplicate this. Let's repeat the process. Let's align. Okay. Now let's duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Okay. Now let's select the bigger circles. Okay. Let's copy them for now. We'll need them later. Okay. Now let's select the rounded corner rectangle. Then select all the big circles. Okay. Now let's go to merge shapes and click on subtract. Okay. Now we can paste the big circles back. Okay. Just drag them away from the slide. Let's change the fill to white. We can remove the outline. And we can also add a shadow. Let's pick a white color. Then let's use these settings. Okay. Now let's select the rounded corner rectangle or the freeform shape now. Then you can select the circles. Just select all the circles too. No, not these circles. Select the other one, so this one. Okay. Okay. Now let's format. Let's pick slide background fill. Okay. Now let's change the color of the line. Let's change it to white. We can reduce this to 0.5. Increase the transparency to 50. Now let's add an inner shadow. Just scroll down. Inner shadow. Okay. We can just make this 50. We can make this 20. Okay. Let's change the color to white. So just to give that snowy effect, a glass morphic effect. Okay. Now we can just select these big circles and send them to the back. Okay. Let's repeat the same process and send them below the 3D object. Okay. Now let's add icons. I'll just copy some of the icons from my previous presentation. So let's just select all these icons. You can find these icons directly in PowerPoint. Let's head over to the icon tab. Obviously, there are other icon sources. You don't have to use my icons. You can go to free icon sites and just use your own icons. So let's just align to the center of the circle. Let's repeat the process. So align to the center of the circle. As you can see, these icons are already linked. We'll change that in a bit. So align to the middle. Okay. Align to the center. Align to the middle. To the center, then align to the middle. Okay. Now let's just demonstrate. Let's just drag this to the top, as you can see. All this will make sense in a moment. Let's just undo this for now. So we need to create 4 slides in order to link the icons. So let's insert a new slide. Let's duplicate this 3 times. Okay. So we have our 4 new slides. First, let's insert the icon, insert the link. Let's Ctrl K. We want to link this to the first slide, that's slide 3. So let's click OK. Repeat the process, then let's link this to slide 4. Control OK. Let's link this to slide 5. Control OK. Let's link to slide 6. Control OK. Now let's link this to slide 7. Okay. So let's zoom out now. Let's select all the objects. Let's copy. Let's paste to the other slide. Let's paste it here. Control V. Control V. Control V. Okay, let's go back to the first slide. Now let's drag the big circles for each slide. So let's select this and let's drag to the top. Okay, now we can also make the icon bigger. Use a dimension of 0.85. I made a mistake in the video. You can correct that. So let's select the circle. Okay, let's select it in inspection pane. Okay. Now let's align to the center, then align to the middle. Okay. Now let's repeat the same for the other slide. So let's drag this to the top. Okay. Now let's select the icon. Let's increase the size 0.85. Okay. Now let's select the circle, then the icon. Hold Shift and select the icon. Align to the center, then align to the middle. Let's drag this to the top. Let's repeat the same process. Increase the size to 0.85. Okay. Let me just adjust it a little bit. Okay, now I select this circle, align to the center, then align to the middle. Okay, so I'm just gonna fast forward this process. You get the idea. Now we can insert a shadow to the graphic. So let's insert a white color shadow. So we can just change this to 175. Can change this to 100. Change this to 0. Now let's copy formatting, Ctrl-Shift-C. Just paste to the other icons, Ctrl-Shift-V, just like that. Select this, Ctrl-Shift-V. Select this, Ctrl-Shift-V. Ctrl-Shift-V. So you can see that it's already applied here because I copied from my last presentation. So let's just check it on the full screen. As you can see, it works properly. That's good. So let's create text boxes. For that, I'll just use some objects in my previous presentation as reference. So let's ungroup this. Let's copy this object. Let's insert a new slide. Just paste it here. Let's drag it in. Let's just open the selection pane. Okay, as you can see, it's a grouped object. Let's just ungroup it. Okay, now let's insert the text box first. Let's change the fonts to Futura Condensed BQ. I'll leave links to the fonts used in this presentation, the link in the description, so you can check it out if you want to use my exact fonts. Also, the color codes, you can find them at the start of the tutorial. If you'd like to use my colors, obviously you can use yours. So let's just duplicate this. Select both text boxes, align to the center, then align to the middle. Let's unite them. Okay. Now we can just format objects. Let's insert the color. Just add color. Okay. So add shadow. So let's just duplicate this. Just drag it here. As you can see, the details, the Hansen font size 35, and the text is aligned to the center. And by the text options, you can also see that there's a shadow applied. So let's just drag this here. Essentially, it's aligned. Select both objects, align to the center, then align to the middle. Okay. You can also duplicate this. Just drag it here. See details. So align. If that's good. Let's also duplicate this. It's the text. And it's the shadow. It's the preset values. Okay. The shape also has a shadow. Okay, so let's just drag it here. Let's ensure it's aligned to the center. Okay, now we can select all the objects, then group. And we can just rename it Textbox 1. So you just repeat the same process for other text boxes. For now, let me just delete all this. Select all and delete. Okay, and then I'll just copy these text boxes. As you can see, you just need to recreate the process for each text box. So let me select all and copy. Okay, let's paste them onto this slide. Let's just drag them out of this slide for now. Sure, let's just drag it out of the slide. Okay, next let's align the objects. For that we'll need a rectangle guide, so let's insert a rectangle. Reduce the size to the top of the rounded rectangle. Okay, so we use this rectangle as a guide, so let's just rename it. Let's just call it a guide. Let's send it to the back. Okay, now we can select all the text boxes. Let's just drag it into the slide area. Okay, now we can align to the center. Let's select the rectangle, then align to the middle of the rectangle. Okay, now we can just hide this for now. Let's just hide it. Okay, now we can drag all this out of the slide. Just drag it out of the slide. Okay, now we can ungroup. Shift Ctrl G. So we want to create text here. It's just a text box. I'll just copy this for my presentation just to save time. Just copy this, paste it here. You can see the details. It's the same Microma font I'm using. Okay. Now let's select all the text boxes here. Let's copy. Now we just want to paste them to the other slide. Let's paste it here. Let's paste it here. Drag it down. Then we can paste it here. Okay. Now let's just align this to the center. Don't worry about this for now. We'll focus on that later. Select this. Let's align to the center. Okay. Select this. Let's align to the center. Okay, select this. Then align to the center. Okay. Now let's go back to the first slide. Let's locate the object in the selection pane. So you see, okay. Now let's just drag it down a little bit. I think that's good. Now we can ungroup, Shift Ctrl G. Okay. Now we can copy this. So we paste to the other slide. So we can delete all this and paste it here. Same thing. Delete this. Paste it here. Delete this and paste it here. Also delete this and paste it here. Okay. So let's just locate the circles. That's the first one. Let's just scroll up, guys, at the top. Yes. So. Okay. Now let's select the second, the third, and the fourth. Let's just drag it away from the slide. Okay. Let's select this. And we can rotate, say 62 degrees. So that is straight. Okay, as you can see, straight. So we can just drag this down here. There's no way of telling if it's aligned properly, so we'll need the rectangle guides from the previous slide. So let's just locate the rectangle guide here. So let's select it. Let's copy. Okay. Now let's paste it here. You can send it to the back. Let's select the first circle. Now we can align to the middle. Okay, so it's properly aligned now. Now you can see the rectangle guide and we can cut it. Ctrl X. Now we can paste it on this slide. Send to the back. Okay. Now we can select the first circle. Let's just drag it away from the slide. Let's select this third and the fourth circle. Let's drag it away from the slide. Now we can select this. Let's rotate 62 degrees. 62 degrees so that it's straight. Let's align to the middle of the rectangle. Okay. Now we can cut the rectangle, Ctrl X. Let's paste it to this slide. Let's send it to the back. Now let's select the first and the second circle. Let's drag it away from the slide. Select the fourth circle. Let's drag it away from the slide. Now we can rotate 62 degrees. Okay, let's select the rectangle. Let's align it to the middle. Okay, and we can cut this. We'll do the same for the last slide. Just paste it here, send to the back. We can select the first 3 circles. No, okay, let's also select the guides. Okay, now we can drag this away from the slide. Let's select this. We can rotate 62 degrees. Okay, now we can align to the middle of the slide. So we can delete this, no longer needed. Same, let's delete this. Okay. So you can see, I believe everything is good. So now let's insert a link to this learn more object. So Ctrl K. Let's link it to the blank slide. Obviously, you can link it to a website, places in this document, or email address. In this case, I'm going to link it to a place in this document. That's slide 8. So just select slide 8 and click OK. Same, slide 8. Okay, Ctrl K. Ctrl K. Okay. As you can see, all the objects are linked to slide 8. Okay. Now let's add Morph transition so that everything we've been doing sort of makes sense. You get to see that in a bit. So let's select all the slides. Let's select all the slides. Okay. Select Morph transition. Let's reduce the duration, say 1.65. Let's check it out on the full screen. And the power of Morph transition makes the transition seamless, as you can see. That's looking good. Okay, there's a little bit of problem here. As you can see, we will need to bring this object to the front on the first slide. So let's just go to selection pane. Let's select all the circles. Okay. Now let's just bring it to the front. Okay. Everything should look good now. That's looking great. Okay. So let's add animations. So we'll start by adding animation to this background picture. So let's enter Slide Master View again. Let's select the picture. Let's insert, let's add a go shrink animation. It shows the start to previous, give it a duration of 5 seconds. Enter effect options. Let's just add a smooth start of 2.5 seconds. A smooth end of 2.5 seconds. Let's reduce the size to around 20%. Let's check auto reverse and repeat until the end of slide. Okay. So let's close Slide Master. Okay. Now let's check it out in the full screen. As you can see, it zooms in, then it zooms out, and it will continue to do that until the end of time. So now let's add a motion path animation to this. Let's let's select and add the motion path animation. So we want a diagonal motion, so let's just zoom in, then drag this point. Let's just drag it a little bit further. That's good. So let's ensure it starts with previous. Enter effect options. Let's check out the reverse. And let it repeat until the end of slide. Okay. Now let's select the circle. Let's double click on animation painter. And we can click on the other objects just to copy the animations. Okay, now we can add variations by adding delays. Let's make this 0.40. So 0.80. We can make this 1.20. So guys, that's the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. PowerPoint 2099 collection is available for download now. The link is in the description. If you reach this point in this video, kindly engage in the comments, like and share to your friends. You can also support the channel by subscribing. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss any more of this amazing PowerPoint content. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.